play. Got a big challenge this week, and in North Carolina, they're a team that obviously is 2-2, but very easily could be 4-0. You know, they've gotten down in some games, but they don't go away. They keep coming back, and you know, the biggest thing I would say in watching North Carolina is you can tell and see the influence of the new staff and Coach Brown and what they're trying to do, you know, with the program and the culture there. You can tell the guys are listening. They believe in what they're talking about. They play incredibly hard, regardless of it's 21-0 or the game is on the line at the end of the game. And they play really, really hard, and they've got some pieces. They're a team that's, like I said, easily could be 4-0, and they're definitely capable of beating us, for sure. They turned it over, you know, 3 times this past week. You know, sack, fumble, touchdown, and then another big interception. You know, App took advantage of it, which good teams do. But really impressed with just watching how they play and what they're trying to do. They're very well coached. Defensively, they've got an excellent scheme. They're all over the place. They're multiple in what they do, and they've brought a lot of pressure. You know, different ways of bringing the pressure. They're not afraid to play man coverage. They'll get up and challenge you outside. They're confident in what they're doing there. You know, the backers are, you know, active, and again, everybody's flying around and playing hard and playing physical, and they've gotten better as the games have gone. That's the one characteristic I can say from this bunch. So impressed with their personnel inside. Big 92 and 55 are really, really good football players. They're athletic at end, physical at backer. Again, really confident outside at corner. I don't know if the one safety is going to be there or not. But number one's a good player, and he's a very active guy, physical. So, you know, good group. And then over on the offensive side, very young, but they've got some talent and they've got some explosiveness. I think they've had 37 explosives to this point. Everything goes to the quarterback. He's kind of Baker Mayfield-esque, if you will. Probably he's not as fast as Baker, but he's got that type of toughness, grit. Same thing, gets better as the game goes, and seems like the bigger the moment, the better he plays. You know, he's just got a little moxie and savviness to him. Obviously, he's a young player, but makes a lot of plays with his legs. Has a good feel for the pocket, scrambling around. They do run him as well. They'll run some option. They'll run, obviously, the zone read, but they run a lot of quarterback draw as well. And lots of RPOs. And but, you know, for whatever reason, he's been really good in the fourth quarter. If you track him, the fourth quarter he's like 70-something% on his passes of 10 yards or more. Prior to that, he's not near as good. So when the game's been on the line, he's been really good and has made some plays. And the guy we offered, everything kind of goes through him. They're young up front. Not sure if their left tackle is going to play. He's a really good player. I think this is the best group of backs we've seen. I think that kid last week might be the best overall back, probably play on Sunday, but this is the best group of backs, and they roll them in and out of there. 8 is quick, fast, scatty. 25 is a really good player. 24 is another guy, a senior, has been in there, but you know, 25 has made some explosive plays. They involve the backs a ton. This is a game where, you know, we've got to do a great job, especially in the passing game, against these running backs, because they touch the ball a lot. They're quick outside at receiver, a lot of double move type stuff, jerk routes, a bunch of 50-50 balls, sky balls, smash fades. So they push it down the field. They're not afraid to catch it, cock it, and let it rip. That's for sure. So we got to win some competitive plays, try to find a way to keep the quarterback contained, especially on scramble situations, and then we got to do a good job with these backs. But good scheme, you know. They run a little midline, they run some speed options, some zone, counter, you know, and everything in between. mostly 11 personnel, get in some two-back stuff as well. But again, a very well-coached team, and a team that you can see, again, has a plan. They believe in what they're doing. They've got a great spirit to them. You know they're going to be excited to play Clemson, and we'll get the very best version of North Carolina. And we know that. And again, this is a team that is definitely good enough to beat us, no doubt. So for our team, it's about continuing to build some momentum, to play well, to build on what we did this past week, to start to look like an experienced team. We've played 4 games now, so let's start to act like we've played 4 games and correct some of the mistakes that we've made, be a little more detailed in some areas, a little more consistent with our technique and fundamentals, and just play fast and be who we are. Play physical, get back to winning the turnover margin, see if we can get that back on the right path. So I'm just really, excited about this trip. It's crazy. This is my 17th year. I've been there one time, and it was a miserable night back in 2010. Probably the worst coaching job I've ever done to this point. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity and hopefully playing our best game and building some confidence and momentum. Got an open date coming up after that. So I think it's hard to believe this is game 5, and that's how quick it goes. So we're a pretty healthy team right now. So hopefully we can, again, play well, play with some confidence, build momentum, and then really, get into the open date and have a chance to evaluate almost a half a season and do a lot of self-scouting and set up for a good second half. But it's gonna take a great effort this week on our part. So everybody's pumped up about it. I'm excited about competing against Coach Brown. Obviously one of the best to ever coach the game, and I think he's also one of the best people to ever coach the game. He is a true gentleman. He loves the players. He's got a lot of relationships from many years at many different schools, and I think, again, one of the most respected people in this business. And he's been a great friend to me, and so it's exciting. Not something I ever thought I would ever even have the opportunity to do, would be compete against Coach Brown. So it's kind of cool that get a chance to do that and visit with him a little bit before the game. But with that, we'll say this: Blake Vincent is out. We're going to go ahead and do surgery on him, so he'll miss the rest of the year with the patella injury. They're going to go ahead and fix that ligament on the side of his kneecap there, just so he doesn't have to deal with this, and go ahead and do it now, so he's ready to go and fully recovered, ready to go for spring practice. So hate that for Blake. Good news is, with the new rule, he can get this year back because he redshirted as a freshman, and the new rule now is if you redshirted as a freshman and then you lose a year for medical purposes, you can actually get that year. So technically he could have a 6th year if he wanted it. So that's a good thing for him. But obviously he can't play the rest of this year. So Putnam, who played a lot this last week, who was already going to play this year, but this gives him more opportunity to get in that mix.